Hi everyone, my name is Anna Coral, and that's a absolutely first episode of Broke but Building. As the name suggests, it's all about startups. It's all about finance. That's two subjects that I am very passionate about. This first episode, we are not going to have any guests. This episode, I'll just will talk to a camera myself as an idiot. Um, and the next episode, I will invite some different people, startup founders in financial space, in very different spaces. Some of them just regular people who will ask how much they spend. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and purpose of this podcast. So I'm a serial startup entrepreneur, and I do understand that it is really hard to take a startup from 0 to 1. It is the hardest stage, honestly, especially financially. I did lots of things myself. My background is product management. I worked in different fintech startups, but not at like pre-seed seed stages. But obviously, when startups are already in the position that they can hire a team, and that's usually at least Series A startups. So currently, I am building the app called Asper. That's budgeting app, AI budgeting app. And the way we differentiate from all other people is we trying to correct human behavior because it is amazing that at the end of the month you will see your budget. But like where's the action there, right? Like I know you spend a lot on like these sort of things and I can't stop but keep spending. The idea of the app came to me when I was honestly scrolling Instagram, and I saw a few startups which do just interviewing people on the streets, and they ask how old are you and how much you have on your saving account. And I was quite surprised to see many 30, 40 years old people who had like a decade or two working experience, but they have just $100 on their account. Um, and I also even like reach out to these accounts, asking whether it is a correct representation of the crowd or it's not. And they told me that 100% correct. I still didn't believe. I still went on the streets myself and just asked totally random people the age, how much they have in savings, and I went a little bit deeper down. And I asked, like, what does it do? Like, what the salary is? It like it was off the record, so people were quite open because they will never see me again. And the surprise came that apparently there's no correlation between salary and how much people spend, and apparently they just like have like salary upgrade, and so they upgrade their lifestyle accordingly. And like if you go outside, right, like everything and everyone, they're just trying to upsell you something. There's an advertisement available everywhere saying that if you buy, I don't know, this hairbrush, your hair will be perfect. You definitely need another pair of shoes, and so on and so on, right? And as a result of it, we have so many things at our homes which we not necessarily use. Sometimes we just buy it. We get some endorphins from that, right? It's nice to purchase. That's why it's called sometimes like shopping therapy, right? Because it is nice feeling to getting new things. However, one by one transactions um, of 50 $60 at the end of the year, it's actually like a few $1,000s which could be better spent. And I saw a few people like around me who like really addicted to shopping. They don't have much money, but they just like go to fancy restaurants, always have fancy food and everything. Um, and like they don't have much savings and they don't understand that there's a problem, but they just like in a mood and just doing the things without thinking about the future. They also don't use financial advisors, and I ask like why, and I guess there's a multiple psychological reasons for that. First of all, you kind of need to admit that you have a problem and to talk about the problem. And many people, they don't want to kind of admit that it's a problem. And secondly, we're all afraid to be judged by other humans, and kind of finance, it's something very personal. We don't talk about finance with friends. We don't talk about finance in general, right? Um, and that's why I decided to build kind of AI, which doesn't judge you. It's AI, well, it's actually judge you a lot, but again, it's not a human. It's not going to talk behind your back. It's AI, no feelings attached to it. Previously, I already built another startup. It didn't work well. It was a marketplace, Kidly. And the purpose of this marketplace was to find kids' activities around you. It is quite interesting thing to build building marketplace for multiple reasons. There's a great book called Start Problem, and like I think he just nailed it. Like talking about Tinder, talking about Uber, Airbnb, like and many other like successful marketplaces. There's a few things which you need to have to successfully scale marketplace. First of all, you need to have quite good uh, race. You should be backed quite well because marketing will be quite expensive if you're unlocking places one by one. And secondly, location, especially like first locations, they are absolutely crucial. Um, he was talking in a book about Tinder, how they started like at different universities, throwing parties there, and they are quite big universities. And it was, if it was another city, I don't think they would succeed as much as they did. Um, in our marketplace, we started in Sydney, and the reason behind it was because like we're in Sydney, but unfortunately, it's not enough businesses in Sydney, kids-orientated businesses. And one of the feedbacks that we received, like, yeah, that's like cool, but I already know all these places. Show me like places that I don't know about, but around me. And unfortunately, we are not in a business of opening like kids activities places. We're in the business of software where we just guide people to these places. So that's like one of the reasons why I think this startup did not succeed. And my learning experience from it is just stay away from marketplaces. Everyone likes B2B SaaS. However, again, I didn't took that road. I took a road of B2C. That's way more difficult. And the biggest difference between B2B and B2C is with B2B, you obviously need to have like sales team, but even like one person can start it. And if you can sign up like a few good companies with good payments from them coming your way, you sweet investors will like it. With B2C, unfortunately, you cannot charge users the same amount that you can charge businesses. And so as a result of it, if the monthly subscription is, let's say, like $10 or so, you need a quite substantial amount of users. And it's all about building community. And most successful startups in B2C space, those who actually succeed at building community first, and then they build startup on top of it. But again, I don't have a community, which is kind of already red flag. But I am trying to build this community now, and perhaps this podcast is like a part of it as well, because one of the goals is just unite people who like passionate about finance. The other thing which I want to talk about is uh, kind of illusion about startups, that not many startups can raise like 1 2 mil pre-seed money when you don't have product, when you don't have any tractions or anything. Startups who can raise that amount of money or even more likely people already had their startup previously and they already have reputation that they exited it for like quite good amount. If that's your first startup, it's either bootstrapped or you're raising like very small pre-seed round. Um, and you need to take into account that raising it takes quite a while as well. And the best case scenario, you need to build a startup yourself, have the first tractions, and have first money coming to a bank account. Uh, at least like $10,000 or so per month, and then investors will talk to you, and then you can kind of like raise something. Um, and I guess one of the illusion is that like all like CEO founders, they have high salary and it's all like luxurious and everything. And it could be when it's like Series C startup. However, when it's Series, uh, well, when it's a pre-seed or seed round, there's no luxury there, and most of the founders, they don't even get salary. And you're probably wondering how you survive, because sometimes it's like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. With Skidly, for example, I quit my job as a head of product, and head of product paid quite good. No complaints here. And joining Kidly, we did raise a small round, pre-product, pre-revenue from the accelerator. Um, and we decided that yes, we are going to withdraw our salary, but it was like nowhere close to my salary as a head of product. It was like literally just covering my mortgage. Um, and once we realized that we're actually running out of money, we stopped like all the salaries altogether. And it was quite like harsh on me. I actually like had to sell my house at some point because like I couldn't like live off my savings anymore, because I spent everything while I was working on this startup. And now again, like working on the other startup again, I'm not paying salary myself. Like I'm very transparent about that, and I'm living off my savings. Um, so it is a quite interesting situation. However, there are many, many founders who are in the same boat, and we are going to interview them as well. And bootstrapping is completely normal. And once you build a community, like sometimes you don't even need investors unless you want to scale quick. However, like even with like very small team of like 2 3 people who don't take salary just yet, like for a year or so, and I understand that it's not everyone, and everyone has different situations in life. But you can achieve quite good like revenue per month, and then you can withdraw from this revenue, and depends on your growth rate, it would go quite high, and hopefully everything will play out well. So I covered my startups experience, a little bit about my finance, and let me know in the comments like what you'd like to hear. Uh, if there's anyone particular you'd like me to interview, but normal format of this podcast will be me interviewing startup founders, asking them how they can afford it, what's the finance behind them, and just in general about budgeting. Thank you so much.